do a little voice overlay here to talk about my experience at Waterford Hills, and maybe it'll help you when you get here. I'm driving a AP1 Honda S2000, but with the F22C engine, which is the one that has a 2.2 liter. And the red line for this engine is an 8000 red line, not the 9 that you see on the tachometer. So with that in mind, it creates weird shift points in gear. The gearing is kind of weird coming through these corners, and I'll talk about that. Okay. We finished that last turn. This is front straightaway, turn number 1. Turn number 1, I'm in 4th gear as I pass the checkered flag, downshift to 3rd gear, and it's a big long 180 turn. Still in 3rd gear here. Now I'll put it in 2nd gear to take this left turn, turn number 4. Look at the RPMs. I'm going to shift just short of 8,000. If I had that extra 9,000, I would have taken it through that corner all the way up that hill, and before I would have shifted. So it makes it kind of complicated. So right there too, I shift from 3rd to 4th, a little bit of a short shift. And what I mean by short shift is, instead of taking it all the way to red line, which is 8, I shift early. It's almost like a safety thing here, because if I were to ride that as close as possible, I would be mid-turn, and shifting the car mid-turn can unsettle it. So I have to make a choice. Keep it in that gear and potentially over rev my engine, or just upshift. So I upshift. That's the bad thing. I don't think my gear ratios work that well at the tracks. I know that when I had the 9,000 RPMs, everything felt perfect. I don't know how to describe it, but everything feels perfect when you have that 9,000 RPMs with this AP1 transmission. I could hold that 2nd gear all the way through, or hold that 3rd gear all the way through. But this gear ratio, in my opinion, really bad. I don't know why the internet forums think it's awesome, but it's not. If it was, I think Honda would have kept the AP1 transmission, but they obviously did not. They upgraded it and gave it closer ratio. That's why the AP2 transmission is shifts a little bit quicker, closer gear ratio. So there you go, 3rd gear, approaching 8, and I shift already. So now I put it back in 3rd because I need some power coming through here. Well, again, AP1 transmission and AP1 engine, just keep it in 3rd. It would have been the best thing to do would be keeping it in 3rd there, but I put it in 4th, which kind of bogs the car. Coming through here, turn number 7, it's called the S's. I kept it in 3rd here. Early in the day, I've tried 2nd. 2nd puts it very close to the red line, which is the 8,000 red line. So to play it safe, it's better just to be in 3rd. Right there, finishing that turn, I shift just below 8 to 4th gear, and then right here back in 3rd gear. Hopefully you can see the tachometer. Hopefully the camera picks it up well. It's definitely a more powerful engine as far as like street use. You can feel the torque, but I think there needs to be a little bit of research to talk about the gearing, because when you're at the top of the gear revs in an AP1, you're really using more horsepower, because the peak power is around that 9,000 RPM. If you're up there, your car has other benefits. That's the way I like to operate in F20C, is what I used to have. This newer engine is strong, it's good. I just need to get my gearing right. So 3rd gear, you can see. Frustrating here that I have to shift to 4th because I'm in 3rd gear, and I'm like, I better lift because I'm going to bounce off that 8,000 RPMs. And as I come through here, better short shift because I don't want to lose control here because there's a wall there. So there was a couple laps there. So in the beginning, past the NSX, past the Mustang. Mustang kind of slowed me down as I was finishing a good hot lap. This is a short track, and there's a lot of traffic. depending on how many cars you're allowed out there and what group you're in, you could just might not even get a good full clean lap, which is pretty much what happened here in my third section. Now each time I would run into a little bit of a traffic where I would have to wait for it to pass by, and then that would ruin the chance to get the personal best lap. Coming into this turn, I feel like the gearing ratio really messes me up here to not be able to get to get a faster speed. That back straight is where you get up to 93 to potentially 100 miles per hour if you can do it. But I got in there at 93 miles per hour because I'm in fourth gear starting that straight. As you can see, I've been steering and counter steering a lot in these last couple corners. That's because the tires are getting greasy. I'm running RE71Rs. They're good for like the first 3 laps. Once you go a little bit more than that, it does start to get really greasy, and that's what's happening. The car is starting to slide and rotate. So I'm stuck behind this GTI here, and right there in rear view mirror, there's a Miata on Hoosiers. So she's right up on my bumper. But during driver's meeting, we say no passing on turns 4 and 5. Wait until you get over this crest, then allow the pass. So I can see her in my rear view mirror, and I'm ready to give her this pass right here. So what I do is I kind of stay close to the right, slow down, let her go on the left side. Part of the rule for the day was passing should be on the left side. And once she got past me, I was like, okay, let me see if I can keep up with these slicks. And she's running the racing slicks here. And so I'm going to push the car a little harder. And this is kind of where I talked about earlier. Tires are greasy. They're going to start sliding. I can see it right there. I'm giving it gas, trying to see if I can keep that grip, but nope. It starts sliding. We got this big left turn here. I'm like, let me see what happens. Let me push it. I want to see if it steps out. Steps out, I catch it, and I'm just like, that's it. I started noticing the lap before that the tires were getting really greasy, so I called it a day. I was like, I'm going to go in. It was getting really hot today at this moment of the day, like really hot. And I was thinking, look at my temp gauge is at 214. Usually normal operating temperature is 185. So go on inside, take a break, and come back later.
That's enough.
But I didn't come back later because the day was getting way too hot. I didn't want to risk it. That's all. Thanks.